Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video. And today we're going to be doing part 3 to my State of DC video trilogy, so to speak. Over the past month or two, I've been putting out a trilogy of videos that kind of explain the state of DC Comics. The first video was my thoughts on Dan Didio, or Didio, however you want to pronounce his name, leaving DC Comics and what that means for DC and why it happens and how I feel about it. Second video, which was the most recent I put up, was talking about where does DC Comics stand with, people buying them or the 5G, or exactly where do they stand in the comic book industry. Of course, a lot of those thoughts were before coronavirus, but some of them I still think apply. This video is going to be the fun video, and I'm going to be referencing my phone a lot. I hope you don't mind. But I am going to give you guys what I would do if I was to rebrand the DC Comics, or if I was to make some changes, mix things up in DC Comics. Now, you must apologize for a couple things. One is, as you can see, I'm very unkept. Of course, we're in quarantine, and my hair is a mess. I have not got it cut in a while, and as you can see, the beard is growing out quite a bit. I'm not really focusing too much on that, just kind of cleaning up on the sides. And as you can see, I've been packing away a lot of my figures. Actually, just a few days ago, I got all the Batman figures packed away for whenever my family and I do plan on moving is going to happen. So, exactly what would I do with DC Comics? So, when I think about any company, or any product, or anything in general, right? Whether it's DC Comics, or the Legend of Zelda video game series, or Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or even my Dungeons & Dragons campaign, I always like to think of structure, right? Because structure is important. If you do not have structure, if you do not have a good foundation on anything you do, well, it eventually falls apart, right? You may have some strong key players throughout, but at the end of the day, if the team itself, the kind of like the New England Patriots, right? I'm a New England Patriots fan, but I'm also a Tom Brady fan, right? You can have Tom Brady, the best quarterback of all time. Go ahead, fight me, right? Tom Brady, who's now going to Tampa Bay, but you can have him on the team. But if he doesn't have Edelman and Gronk and all the other players there to support him, if you don't have that team foundation, it doesn't matter how good that is. Same thing with comic books, right? You can have X-Men or Batman as your flagship titles, but if you don't have a strong foundation throughout, well, it doesn't really much matter how good those titles are. So, the focusing of my plan for DC Comics, which will never happen, and I know DC doesn't watch my videos, it's going to be simple. It's going to be structure. The rules of this is going to be very simple. I'm doing my example, what I think a rebranding or relaunch of the titles are going to be. I'm not going to screw with continuity that much, although I would explain how I would try to make sense of everything a little bit, right? This is more or less titles. What titles would I put out there? And who would be on each title? So, I'm going to limit myself to a lean 32 titles for DC Comics to publish in their main DC continuity. I'm not talking about like the Sandman universe or Vertigo universe, which doesn't exist but kind of does exist on the side, or the Young Animal or anything else, right? Focusing just on the main DC superhero universe. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Teen Titans, Suicide Squad, everything along that lines, right? In addition to that, with the exception of maybe one or two teams, I'm going to limit each team to a maximum of 7 members. There are going to be exceptions to this, such as the Legion of Superheroes or Suicide Squad, which either have a large cast of characters or rotating team members. Suicide Squad, people die and they get rotated in and out, but I will explain that when I get to the teams. Like I said, I'm going to be referencing my phone a lot because while I do have most of these in my head, I'd rather just play it safe and reference my phone. So, going to unlock that bad boy, and we're going to get up to the picture, which is going to say it all, my master document. It's actually right here. I did it on an Excel sheet not too long ago. So, there are going to be 3 tiers of comic books, right? Tier 1 is going to be the foundation. These are the core 12 titles that DC should always be publishing, right? Always have out there. They're going to be the foundation, right? You have this building. If you do not have the brick and mortar, it does not matter the other titles. This is my true, honest opinion. That's why when titles such as, Aquaman or Flash or Superman or whatever could disappear, how it could seriously and negatively affect the DC Universe and how they put out their comics. Because these core foundations extend to their extended family too. So Tier 1, these 12 titles, are going to be the 12 essential titles, never to be touched. Mind you, right? And again, you guys might disagree with me here and there, but I think some of these are very obvious, right? Tier 1 title are Batman, right? Which is going to be focusing on Bruce Wayne being Batman, doing traditional superhero stuff, right? Detective Comics, right? And that's going to be more noir, Batman on the streets, facing off against gangsters, and more one-off stories than long story arcs. And you can even throw his extended family in there, like Catwoman or Nightwing, to help out. But, of course, you have to have those two top titles. And let's get the other elephants out of the room. Superman Action Comics. Very similar to Batman, right? Superman's going to be the traditional superhero stuff, and then Action Comics is going to be more side stories, fun one-off stories, right? And then let's hit up the other ones, right? Wonder Woman. Definitely a foundation title, always has to be there. So we got the Trinity out of the way. Green Lantern needs to be a foundation title. Not just that, it needs to be headlined by Hal Jordan. Now, every Green Lantern is going to give their love on the spreadsheet I have, but Hal Jordan is going to be the staple, right? And I have nothing against any other Green Lanterns. Actually, I love them all. From Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, John Stewart, Simon Baz, Jessica Cruz, Alan Scott. I love them all. But Hal Jordan is the most popular and successful Green Lantern, right? And a lot of people will be like, whoa, what about John Stewart? Or what about Kyle Rayner? They were the Green Lanterns of the 90s, the ones I love, in Justice League Unlimited. That's all well and good, right? John Stewart was immensely successful in the cartoon, but that's all he's ever really been successful in. Some stories in the 70s and 80s, but he hasn't really been too successful on his own as a mainline Green Lantern in forever. And same thing with Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner, what has he done, right? You could say it's because DC hasn't given them the opportunity, but Kyle was around when Hal Jordan was around. When Hal Jordan came back in 2004, the comic skyrocketed. So Hal Jordan is going to be headlining the Green Lantern title. Similarly, The Flash is going to be Barry Allen, right? Again, foundation. Don't worry, fans of Wally, there's going to be love for Wally out there. But Barry Allen has to be the mainline Flash. And Barry Allen's title has been incredibly successful since he came back after Final Crisis, leading into the New 52 and Rebirth, right? After that, Aquaman, right? Aquaman has to be a foundation title. It's a great series, a great character, a great supporting cast, and on a whole, you have a ton of great stories that could be told there. If you notice, I did a lot of the Justice League as some of the foundations, but let's jump a little bit outside, right? Harley Quinn, right? Love her or hate her, Harley Quinn is an immensely popular character. Arguably one of the most popular characters in DC Comics. You know, Jim Lee jokes around that the Trinity is really actually the Elite Four, and Harley Quinn is up there with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration, but no character has had the explosion of popularity like Harley Quinn in DC Comics in forever. So her title needs to be solid, right? Justice League. Justice League has to be one of those foundation solid titles. And on my Justice League team, right, because I'm doing them all, right, Justice League will be Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Flash, Barry Allen, Aquaman, and Cyborg. Those 7, right? Basically the New 52 Justice League team. Because it worked well. New 52 Justice League was one of the best running Justice League titles in years. Since Grant Morrison's run. After that, you have the Titans. Titans has to be one of those foundation titles, right? It's kind of like the X-Men of the DC Universe, for lack of a better term. And then on the Titans, I have Nightwing, Donna Troy, Wally West, Roy Harper, Green Lantern Kyle Rayner, Garth, like, you know, Tempest, formerly Aqualad, and Ms. Martian, right? That's a great balance of a team. I know you're wondering where's Starfire, where's Raven, all that stuff. Listen, we'll get to this, but I think those are great successors to the Justice League, right? And they kind of mirror them pretty well, and I think that would be a really good Titan team. After that, we have the Justice Society of America, another foundation title you have to have, right? Justice Society has to be the last of the foundation titles. And on Justice Society, I have Flash J. Garrick, Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, Wildcat, Hawkman, Dr. Midnight, Power Girl, and Stargirl. Now, I get it. Those are the 7, right? I get it that the Justice Society is kind of, their own little extended family with the younger generation and all that stuff. And you can have those characters come in there, but those have to be the 7 that are the foundation. Again, these are rules I just made up. Whatever, take it as it is. After that, you have the Tier 2 titles, right? These are the titles that are big and important and strong, but not the foundation. But they stem out of all the other titles. And these titles are really kind of cleaning up all the remaining A- and B list superheroes, giving them a home and making them work, right? So here we go. You're going to like this. Let's get some of the... there's going to be a lot of obvious ones, but there's going to be some unique twists I'm going to throw in there, right? Nightwing. It's an obvious one. Nightwing has to have a title. Dick Grayson as Nightwing, not Rick Grayson, not Nightwing Special Agent of Spiral. It's Nightwing, right? In Bloodhaven, doing what Nightwing does best. Next is The Outsiders. Now, I'm going to do my own spin on The Outside. The Outsiders is going to be an extended Batman family, and it's going to consist of Red Hood as the headline title character, with Tim Drake, Signal, Batwing, Bluebird, Azrael, and Huntress. Right there, those 7 characters on that title, it encompasses a good bunch of the Batman extended family. You give all these characters that don't have a home really right now a home, and the character dynamics between all of them would be fantastic. Tim Drake and Jason Todd having to lead the team, already right there you've got a WWE storyline to begin with, right? But you got a lot of characters that throw a lot of, unique twists in there. You have Huntress that kind of throws things off. Bluebird that throws things off. You have characters that are more stable like Luke Fox and Signal. And you have wild cards like Azrael. I think it would be a really fun title to have those 7 characters on there, right? After that, the next title I would have is Batgirls. Plural, Batgirls. It will be a title in which Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, brings Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain back in as Batgirls, and she's mentoring them, right? I mean, she doesn't need to mentor Cassandra Cain on fighting, but about what it means to be a vigilante and to be a superhero, it would be really cool. So the 3 of them are Batgirls, and it's a mantle held by all 3. It honors all 3 of those characters in their own way, shape, and forms, and I think it would be a fantastic title. Batgirls. It's one of the exceptions where a team only has 3 members, but it makes sense. You're not going to have 7 Batgirls. 3 is still pushing it. Supergirl. I think Supergirl as an extended family member of Superman is necessary, and when I was thinking about what extended family member of Superman there should be, Supergirl came up on top, right? There was obviously Superboy and other Superboy, Connell and John Kent, but they have homes elsewhere. And I think Supergirl and Kara would be the best fit. Next is Justice League Dark, right? Justice League Dark has been a wildly successful concept since its introduction in the New 52, spanning off into its multiple comic book iterations, right? We currently have one out of Rebirth, out of the No Justice kind of concept. And then we have also the movies that have been going out. And also, I guess it is going to be an HBO Max series, so... let's go for it. Justice League Dark will consist of John Constantine, Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Etrigan the Demon, Animal Man, Andrew Bennett, the Eye Vampire, and finally Vixen. All characters that are magic-based or connected to the red or the green of the DC universe. The Parliament of the Red and the Parliament of the Green. I love all these characters. I know a lot of people are like, Andrew Bennett, why him over like Dr. Fate or something like that? I get it, right? Andrew Bennett is actually a really badass character, and I recommend everyone read I, Vampire. It's actually a sleeper story title from the New 52. I think he's a great pick for it. Next, moving on, after Justice League Dark, right, is the last Justice League title, Justice League of America, or Justice League All-Stars. Whatever you want to call it, it's a secondary Justice League title. All of them are Justice League members, but they deal with different threats than the core 7 does. This team will consist of Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Atom, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, John Stewart, and Shazam, right? Kind of the secondary Justice League members, with the exception of Martian Manhunter. But the reason why I put Martian Manhunter on this team and had Cyborg on the main team is this is a team where Martian Manhunter can be the leader and have it be realistic. Nothing taking away from John Jones, and I love John Jones. That's why I'm giving him the Justice League of America to lead. Is that when you have a team that has Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman on it, it's hard for anyone to realistically be the leader. You can kind of write it, but it's just not believable because you have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman on it. Plus, I also see the Justice League not as a team that has a leader, but rather everyone is equal. So why not give Martian Manhunter more love on a team where he can be the leader and can be kind of the star along with a lot of other people? Next will be a Wally West title. I don't care what it's called, but a title that focuses on Wally West, right? Barry Allen could be in Central City. Wally West can be Keystone. Tell the Wally West story. That's a branch off from the Flash title, the Flash family. Wally West needs to have a story. And whereas Barry can be having, the Flash of China, Avery, or Kid Flash, Wallace West on his title, you can have Bart Allen as well as Wally's kids on Wally's title and have that be kind of his extended family. I think it's a smart idea, and I think it would work for Wally, right? And he doesn't have to be the Flash. You can make him a Flash if you want. You can create a new character name like, I don't know, Velocity or Super Speed, whatever, right? I'm not good with names. But a Wally West title is needed, right? Next, we're getting towards the end of the Tier 2. Young Justice, right? Young Justice needs to happen, and that is going to be the second generation of sidekicks. Tim Drake, Connor, Cassie, Bart, both the Wonder Twins, and Naomi. I like the concept of the Wonder Twins. I like them in their rebirth and duration, so you're probably wondering why I put them on there. I think they're kooky, fun characters. They have a bit of legacy to them, and I think Naomi is a great a new character, and I think they would work well. These three relatively newer or less focused on characters working with more staples in there. Young Justice, just a solid pick through and through, right? And then next after that is Green Lantern Corps. Green Lantern Corps is going to be happening, and that will be, get this, ready? Green Lantern Corps is going to be kind of like the rest of the Green Lanterns, all working with each other. It's going to be a buddy cop between Simon Baz and Guy Gardner, and then in the middle, kind of playing as grown-up or being the balance between the two, is going to be Jessica Cruz, right? That would be cool, and those will be the stories off into space, right? So you have Hal on the Justice League, you have John on the Justice League of America, you have Kyle on the Titans, and then you have the rest of the Lanterns in the Green Lantern Corps kind of starring in their own thing. I think it's phenomenal. I'm so smart. Suicide Squad, right? Here's another one. Suicide Squad is going to have 4 staple members, and then the rest can be rotated out, right? So Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark has to be the staples. They're the ones that don't get killed. They're the ones that stay in there. And then you can rotate any other 3 members in and out as you choose. So, there you go. And the last of the Tier 2 is going to be Deathstroke. Deathstroke has had some really great titles. Maybe not so much his first New 52 title, but his Justin Jordan's second New 52 title. Just recently, Christopher Priest's run, which is arguably the best Deathstroke run possibly ever. Deathstroke needs to have a solid title through and through, and he's too good of a character just to lay down on the side. So that's Tier 2. Now, Tier 3 are the titles that, are more the experimental titles, or the titles that you really want to give a shot to, the titles that are a little bit uncertain, the ones that may not have as much stability as others. These are the titles that want to have the diversity and the wacky ideas and the unique concepts, and really focusing on bringing a new kind of feel to the DC universe, while as also focusing on characters who have not been always treated the best because of low sales or whatever, right? I'm going to hit these real quickly, but, right, Static. I think it's a damn shame that Static has not had a stable comic throughout the past 15 years, roughly, right? I think his New 52 title was a sham towards the character, and the character needs more. So, Static, right? Wildcats. I wouldn't mind the Wildcats being reintroduced in the DC Universe and I think it would be awesome, right? I have not read a lot of Wildcats, but I think it's a great concept and idea. A lot of characters like Grifter and Voodoo, who had New 52 runs. Voodoo's run was amazing, Grifter's was messa, but give those characters new life as the Wildcats. Even make them kind of an X-Men-like team. Who knows, right? Very 90s inspired. Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. I want to see Blue and Gold come back. That's a selfish, guilty pleasure, but the two characters are beloved, and I think the title would work out well. Swan Thing, right? Swan Thing is a staple in the Dark Universe, and if there's a character from the Dark Universe that should have a title, it should be him. Naomi, I spoke about it beforehand. She's a great new character. I know her title ended because they were only doing a select few issues, but I would really like to see her have her own title back in there, kind of building off the momentum of Young Justice. Legion of Superheroes. This is one of the titles where I don't care what the team members are, and it's impossible to pick 7 because there's so many. There are legion. I'm not the biggest Legion of Superheroes fan either, so I have no investment on this, but I know how important it is to the DC Universe, so Legion of Superheroes. I spoke about the Wildcats beforehand, and I think Grifter having his own title, have it almost be kind of a darker Punisher kind of like title, or Wolverine-like title. I'm using Marvel reference, but it's kind of that feel, right? I think Grifter should get another shot at his own title. Gotham Central, right? One more, one of the two last Batman-based titles. Gotham Central would be a great idea. Have Renee Montoya and Bullock be the main characters. They had a great run on Detective Comics. I would love to see a Gotham Central comic focusing on the cops doing their things. And knowing that they're not incompetent and they can actually do their work and they don't have to rely on Batman. Another one, Gotham Academy. Really great title through and through. I like to see a rotation of characters. I would even like to see the title be in the past. Like, do a Gotham Academy anthology titles that go through 20 years of stories, starting back in the 80s. I think that would be awesome. But Gotham Academy is a solid concept, and it's a shame that's not being done right now. Lastly, we have the Fourth World, which is, of course, the Jack Kirby stuff, the New Gods, and you got a lot of stories that can be told there. You can approach it however you want. You can have it be focused on Orion. You can have it be focused on Mr. Miracle. I think there's a lot of love for those characters. I think in the past few years we've shown some love, but we haven't shown enough. Last two comics, right? Teen Titans. You thought I forgot about the Teen Titans. They did it. Teen Titans are going to be straightforward, right? It's going to be Robin, Damian Wayne, Red Arrow. It's going to be Aqualad, the new Aqualad, Kid Flash, and then veterans are going to be Starfire, Raven, and Beast Boy. Against 7 members, you got the 3 veterans teaching the younger crowd to have Starfire be the leader. And then lastly is Shazam, right? I love Shazam. He should have his own title. Why not? So that's my 3-tier listing of the DC Universe and what titles I would put out there. As for continuity is a mess in general. I think what should be really done is kind of what Rebirth has been doing, is bring back the old DC Universe, right? And then have the New 52 and Rebirth be part of that. And how do you explain stuff? How do you explain that? Let's take a continuity hiccup, right? How do you explain the New 52 origin of the Justice League working with the original Silver Age origin? Ready? This is such a cop-out, but I think it would work. And it would solve all the problems, and we don't have to fuck with continuity anymore. Very simple. Create a villain whose main purpose is that he wants to weaken the DC Universe. It sounds familiar, but get it. And he does so by erasing their memories. So the Justice League formed in the Silver Age, which Martian Manhunter and all the rest, and then maybe a year after it formed, boom, he erased the Justice League of their memories of their adventures together, and then they reformed again when Darkseid attacked, and you have the New 52 Justice League, right? That could be also an explanation on where a lot of characters were, or why the Teen Titans don't remember why their adventures as the new Teen Titans, right? Whatever the case may be, that's the only way I can see around it, but we got to stop messing with continuity. We have to have a solid continuity. And I would make a timeline. Maybe I should make that be a separate video, just Andrew's DC Universe timeline. Oh, God, I would have gray hairs at the end of it. But that is my thoughts on what I would do for the DCU and how I would approach. Again, Foundation with Tier 1, Tier 2 kind of being that flavor, and Tier 3 being, hey, let's try something different and new. Let's focus on the characters that haven't had the focus on them. Is it perfect? No. But I think it's really, really solid. And listen, I'm not saying that I know more than DC Comics or the people over there, because I don't. right? They have a job there for a reason. But I can't say that there's not value to this. There's not value to the fact that this basically solves a lot of problems and getting titles out there that a lot of people want. But really, as always, I'm curious about what you guys have to think. Because, shit, this is what we're talking about. This is conversation. This is a forum. This is all of us kind of voicing our opinions. And saying that, because of everything that's going on with coronavirus and everything that's going on with people being quarantined, I'm going to do the best I can to put out more videos more often. More discussion videos as well. Videos that people can watch in the background maybe and listen to while they play video games or whatever. But I want to put more out there. I finally got the computer back that we needed in order to put up the videos and kind of do real editing rather than just straight from my phone. My next video, though, is going to be an update video about a couple things that are going on in my life, as well as me throwing out there some ideas on what I have for my discussion video or even review. What I do want to do is I just read Batman White Knight. Maybe I might review that. I just finished that up. Unfortunately, no new comics are coming in, so it's tough, but I think there's a lot of backlog stuff I can talk about, and we can really hit the ground running with that. I want to thank everyone here that has supported me throughout the years and supported everything that I've done. I know things are crazy right now. I hope everyone's being safe. I hope everyone's doing what they need to do to stay safe, whether it's social distancing or putting a mask on or whatever the case is. Hopefully this virus thing will be over soon. Maybe there might be a second wave, but hopefully we can get some semblance of normality. I'd like to go back to work full time. I would like to go back to the gym. I would like my family to go do more than just sit at home. And I would also, most importantly, like to know that my family, as well as everyone else in the world, is safe, happy, and healthy. So yeah, with that said, next video I'll post up, I'm going to be talking about some stuff going on in my life right now, some stuff that has really affected me with the coronavirus, and also some good stuff, right? Not all grim, right? Let's talk about good stuff too. So I appreciate everything. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.